Howdy, cadre. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm kind of tired, and I can tell I'm a little bit foggy. I'm misspeaking a little bit, but my mind and spirit are in it. So let's keep going. I just filmed a couple intros, and just picking up from where we left off. You know what? Let's do this in creative mode, and I might as well take my shield off if we're gonna do that. That didn't. Well, okay. I just want an empty hand. So, okay. Yeah, I just made a video for the Exiles. This is a video for the subjects of the new Lost Kingdom. New Lost Kingdom is a weird name, but I settled on it. Well, there's weirdness with the Lost King, who we're avoiding naming. I don't have bones. Okay. So, yeah, the king didn't make it to the new kingdom. We came here to found a new kingdom, but the king didn't arrive with us. He's now the lost king. Um. Anyway, so there's hopefully founders who will be joining who know the identity of the king. There may also be founders who join early on who don't know the identity of the king, but who are going to be considered founders because they're joining so early on. At the start of all things. So this is the King's Road is the path I'm going to walk here, and I've marked it with these stones. That serve kind of as survey markers. They exist at key points like 00 and 2000. And the goal is for this road to be the primary organizing feature of this world. And we're walking it now. You can still see the edge of the Path of Exiles there. This road that's planned will meander through the valleys between these mountains, and this is what I've absolutely fallen in love with this seed. The kingdom goes from 2000 in each direction from 0, and that is a peninsula that is like mainly rivers and wetlands, woodlands to the north, plains and forests to the west, and even more forests to the south. But it's a peninsula that connects with land at the north edge and a little bit on the northeast. But other than those land connections at the north, the ocean really is the divider between the kingdom and the rest of the world. It's just that 2000 mark works really well to encapsulate it, which is why I chose it. Now that it's night, we can see the lights of our road, so it's going to be a little bit easier to follow. I was already going off course. So the sea level is down quite a ways. You can see it there. And a lot of these lands are quite a bit higher than that. Instead of being at like 60, about 4, I think, is sea level. 63, maybe. 62. Anyways, up here we're at about 90. So that's nice because it allows some deep pits that aren't filled by water, that aren't under sea level. So the road will be cutting through here, and it'll have a lot of straight lines between these waypoints to connect them. I think I'm more likely to engage in... Where's the next one? Hey guys. There should be a light. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to follow still because I don't have the road in yet, and I should at least put like a dashed line in with gravel. So anyways, this continent is a little bit high ground. The peninsula. And from 0 to 2000 east is this beautiful mountain range with a lot of interesting features on the way. So the goal is to use this road as the primary organizing feature that creates a journey from start to, you know, kind of the center of our community over at 0-2000. And yeah, I love that these cherry blossoms just ended up scattered in some of the cold climates, which is awesome because these mountains, yeah, some of them definitely have some cherry blossoms on them. So it wasn't hard for me to get to them and harvest some and bring them back to spawn. I've lost my lights. Here we go. So yeah, these markers wander, and we'll be clearing the land and flattening them. What I want to do is have roads that incorporate stone and timber in different places, in different ways, but with an idea of creating a road that connects these points, is leveled out for the idea of carriages or whatever. In fact, I already have ideas for how to make kind of cobblestone gravel road mix that can be more formal near the cities. Meaning you might move towards like bricks and stones and pavers. But I want this road at times to just go over features with bridges. Whoops. Okay. And like here it's going to be an elevated road. Probably on timber stilts, timber columns, making it a raised road here, just across this lowland area and other places like it. With the idea being travel easier at night. So here, this is really nice. There's a kind of a saddle valley between a bunch of like a couple mountain ranges meeting, kind of. And this will make a nice crossroad. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yeah. I think so. I think it's the one I'm thinking of. Make a nice crossroad through this valley with a lumberjacks city and stuff. Here we've got a village, a mountainside village that the road gets close to. So the road in different areas will incorporate logs, big timbers, kind of as earth retention, especially like back there where we were running along this a slope, the side of a slope. We'll put timbers on the downside to kind of hold the earth in place, and with some vertical supports. And yeah, and then the high side can just be more like gravel than natural. But the idea is to connect these points, and then people, as they build larger buildings, they'll also be exploring and finding where they want to build their next building. That's part of the idea of this progression is, you know, you can jump on the server and say, hey, where can I build? And I can point you somewhere. And I can even ask questions like, do you want to be by a lake or whatever? But there's something better about just starting to naturally play and seeing things and being inspired to build something someplace specific. So a lot of this are these nice roaming hillsides, and really they're foothills around these mountains. And there's enough of these mountains, I think there's 7 or 8 of them, that in doing research for this, I've come across a new term I wasn't aware of. Cordillera. I think it's a Spanish word for mountain range, basically. But I think it's useful because a cordillera is a kind of a cluster of mountains, whereas a mountain range implies a string, like it's a result of one tectonic activity or whatever. A cordillera can be more just a grouping of mountains. And this feels like 2 or 3 ranges kind of intertwined. Depending on how the mountains are formed, of course. They could have been all formed at the same time. Anyways, so this path wanders around all these mountains until it gets to the shore. And the eastern shore of the peninsula has a nice cliff wall running it. And just on the other side here is the cave that I'm really excited about, and I'm not going to show that to you yet. But this path wraps around back towards this valley. I hear a trader. And the geography of this place is so great. And the way it's worked out with the numbers and the spawn and everything. So this is the other end of the valley, but the King's Road has wandered around to the north side of this mountain instead of coming straight through here. This is an alternate path, and there's an old ruined portal there that I think I'm going to leave as like an old ruined portal. It's kind of cool as a landmark. But I love the mountains. I love the valleys. There's a lot of opportunity to build cities or whatever all throughout these mountain ranges. And over here in the Cave City I have planned, and we kind of walked quickly by the bay, but I think the bay there would be a great spot for like a fishing or pirates village. But this spot is special to where it's just past here. Yeah, okay. So right here is kind of an important junction point. We've got, you could go straight west to head towards Spawn, And eventually you'd meet up with the road, because the road heads straight this way but then curves around this mountain. So we just walked that around this mountain. We came from the east, from the coast there back here. So this has a like casual forgotten path to the west, the formal road to the east that wraps around and through the valleys. To the south, we've got the Cave City nearby. And to the north is going to be, just on the other side of this hill is the Pirate City that I have a vision for. And so the other way this serves as an intersection is not only that path, this path, that path, but the fourth path is, well, there's caves down here, but that's not the important part. The fourth path is to the nether here. We've got the first... What the... Oh, it's loading slow? It's loading slow. I'm in creative mode. It shouldn't be a problem. Oh, well, oh, yep, there it is. Okay. I've built a little structure here, but, yeah, the first nether portal. I decided to go ahead and build that, and I've got a path that leads to the stronghold already. I just wanted those things to be nice. When we do it as a group, it'll be ready. But this also is going to be the exit from the tunnel. The tunnel will go from 0, 0 to here. This is like 0, 9,000? 19,000? 900. Yeah, 2,000, 1,000, 950. This is 950. 950, 0. So the tunnel will go straight from 0, 0 to 950, 0. Just low enough to get under the valley that it goes under. And then the tunnel can also continue from here over to the other side of the mountain. But we'll be building this road to go around it, and then we'll have the road that leads to Cave City. And all that stuff is cool and special. And fun. Let me just show you the valley quick. I mean, this valley is nice. And there are a lot of places that if it inspires you to build, the great, talk to me and we'll set you up for getting you comfortable and all that. We're going to be using casual land rights for now. I can either tell you coordinates or I can place down like some wool or something. But this is the Saddle Valley or Hip Valley that I'm talking about. It already has... I was already looking at this for a lumberjack city before 1.2 came out, because I was thinking, oh, this is a nice grass field that's fairly level that could be built on, and there's a road that will connect the King's Road with another path, and even this has caves and stuff around that are fun opportunities to build. But with the cherry blossoms here, I even more want a lumberjack village, lumberjack city, and the thought is to stretch from the King's Road here over to the other road in the other valley, and then this whole area can serve as... I was initially thinking the city's down here, and then the lumberyards are up there, or the orchards are up there, but all of the above is possible. So let me get back to the bay. and then I'll let you go, because that's the other thing that I was excited about. The villages are fun. There's 2 of them that will be near the King's Road, and I think there's like a 3rd and a 4th that aren't too far. Almost all of this is natural spawn. I've only done a few things that I think have been obvious. This... Did I miss it? No, this is the bay. It's not the ocean, this is the bay. So, this is pretty cool how this is generated here. This water is a very distinct bay that opens up to the ocean at just one channel. Did I build a wall here? I don't think I have with this world. So there's this major portion of the bay and then another inlet, and then it connects through the channel. I don't think I have been over here in this version. I've started this seed several times. And in one of the versions I built a wall. I think right here, yep. But it's not this version. I built a wall from here to here. With an opening large enough for ships, the Minecraft ships that appear. With the idea being that this would be a defensible point against pirates, and if you built a wall that was just wide enough for ships that you could close that and use it. It's a walled bay is the idea, and in an emergency you could close that wall or at least defend it with you know, soldiers, whatever. So this bay, it's hard to see all at once, especially now that they've added this fog. But it extends over here, and it's fairly close to the easternmost mountain here. So I thought this hillside would be an awesome like fishing village. The village could, well, the road's coming through here around the mountain. Let's see how close it gets. I think it comes through here. No, yeah, no, yeah. I don't recall. Oh, it's up here. It's up here. Okay. So the road comes, yeah, from that way. There's the sun. That helps. That's east. No, that's west. That's setting. That's west. So the road comes through the valley here and then by the village, and then it's headed this way around the mountain. So my thought was that while the King's Road comes in this way, this would be kind of the high end of the village. And this is kind of where I was thinking it would be centered. This gentle slope. I don't know how gentle it is, but a village could be made in tiers or steps, with like farming down near the water, farming and docks down near the water, maybe pirate boats. Maybe some people want to build a boat instead of a house, and we could do that here with like a marina or something. And Actually, this is more shallows. It might make sense if the marina started here with docks that extended north, and then have boats there, and then have... Anyways, the idea is this hillside would be the village. With obviously, stuff more related to the water being down near the water. So the fishermen huts and docks and wharfs and like I said, the lowlands are good for the farmers because it irrigates pretty naturally. So yeah, that's the idea for the Pirates Bay village. But the other thing I really like about this seed is this cliff wall that extends all the way along the east side of the continent here. It's just a nice feature that is very picturesque. I think they've added a lot of things. Okay, there's already caves through there. The idea of the tunnel is to also cut through the earth here too, but then provide one of these roads on the edge that's well, where do you get to? I guess from here the thought was go over or through. Maybe that's where I want a tunnel. I mean, it could just cut into the earth too, so that it like walks along a wall. But if we want to come out at this level, we're gonna have to get down a little bit. So my thought was to probably curve the road around this hill, or mold it somewhat, or tunnel through it. I mean, really, if we tunnel through it, we could come out up here. That tunnel would be higher than the tunnel that goes west, which I think will be like right in here. Actually, it might even be this extended west, but lower. Anyways, so to get back to the idea of progression, the thought is start with the starter hut, probably near spawn or close by on the King's Road. That could be just like a 5x5 hut or whatever. Then build a homestead, which will be more of a house with its own farm and whatever amenities you want. It could be built into the side of a mountain as a miner's home, dwarf hole, whatever. Then from there build more like a mansion, go up from there, and people can go in whatever direction they want. If they want to build something for public use, we'll define the public spaces from the private spaces with some signs and whatever, and we'll put those right on the road. And if eventually you want to donate those to the kingdom and stop caring for it, stop being caretaker for it, we'll do that, and that all goes towards building a reputation and earning titles and all that. So, but once you're to the mansion level, part of the idea is as you build things, you're going to be earning trust and more land rights and stuff. And rather than having that all tied to one place or all amorphous, it's part of the sequence of contribution. And you don't really have to do anything or contribute anything if you don't want to. If you want to build a starter hut and a homestead for yourself, and even the third step, the mansion, and keep all three, you can do that. But the hope is that you only really need two, and that you'll donate one of those once you have the third, with the assumption it being your starter hut. Because are you going to need that once you have multiple homes? And the idea of having two properties is that it makes it easier to move things. You can have stuff at two properties, and if you're getting ready to donate a property, then you can move your stuff from that to the other, so that all your stuff is at one property. And then, so just to keep things simple and organized, the progression thing I think is good. And the idea being too that you might want to keep a starter hut near spawn and donate your second home once you build your third. But I think it's most likely that people will be progressing in size and how much time they put into it. And so they'll be more attached to their newer builds, and they'll probably want to be donating their oldest and smallest builds for newer players. And the hope there is just that, early members are going to have to start from scratch with a new server and build from there. But it's nice to be able to make it easier for newer players just by giving them some starting goods, pointing them to a bed where they can start, all that stuff. And the idea is to have something set that's a casual ladder to climb, so there's goals in mind. And so the thoughts relating to the road are the starter huts are going to be maybe set back from the town, but within sight of the road, probably near spawn, but also near other cities that we make, and more scattered, more isolated, and on a small plot of land, maybe at the edges of our cities, would be good. The centers of our cities are going to be more the public use buildings, and larger homes. So those are going to be more the second and third builds of this progression. And all of this is up for, we're going to be reacting to what people want, where they want to be, what they want to do. But the idea of starter homes is to scatter them around for people to use when they're starting. The idea of the homesteads they are going to be kind of standalone places for survival that will be scattered along the King's Road, and especially focused near these cities we're trying to build. The next step up is the more public use buildings, which is maybe the same category as mansions. And those, if they're for the public good, will be on the road, right close to the road, especially near the city centers, because we want those to be the public service buildings that offer goods for sale, or offered for trade, donations, and just style stuff, inns, taverns, whatever. Things that we maybe don't necessarily need but would look good, that fit in the setting that we have the tools and stuff to make. So once we get into the mansion level, that third tier of building. The other option, though, other than going public service, is going. I mean, other than going like public interaction by being on the road and about community. The other thing I want to do is give people the option to have large pieces of land that are on the sides of mountains. The idea being that they have the mining rights within that property, under that property, and that they have a large territory that they can build wherever they want on, and that they can do large things on. If they want to do, the Wizard's Tower on the side of the hill, or the castle, the lookout towers, all that stuff. I want to provide them the space for that. And with all of these mountains, it provides a natural feature that has its own limitations, because it's hard to move around in that snow and on those vertical surfaces, and even just the stone up there is harder to work with than the dirt. Dirt you can knock around with or without a shovel even fairly quickly. So the idea is that each of these mountains actually provides a lot of potential resources and space to build. And if we give people swaths of land that extend from the base of the mountain towards up to near the top of the mountain, that's a lot of area to have resource collect in and freedom to build in. And I'd like to see, stairways up the sides of these mountains, stuff like that, tunnels that start to pop up in them. But people can handle their own land how they want to. If they want to put keep away signs at the edges, they can. If they want to build roads through them, they can. Whatever for the most part. I want to support people's privacy if they want to have private areas, or all the community cooperation stuff, if possible. But the idea of the mountains being that those are big, formidable things for travel anyways, and if we're building roads that travel through these valleys, to connect all these cities and places of interest, then these big mountains are just areas to avoid. And when I say big mountains, here's another village that's on the back of the mountain from the cave city I'm planning. The King's City, I guess we might be calling it. King's Cave. I don't know. So yeah, another village there. But so these are huge. I mean, they're not only tall and have giant caverns through them, and just have a lot of ice and snow in general. But some of these have big caldera? Now I'm confusing it with Cordillera. Cordillera is a group of mountains. I think a Cordera... I'm going to check. Well, Cordillera, a system or group of parallel mountain ranges, together with the intervening plateaus and other features, especially in the Andes or the Rockies. So, yeah, I think it's like Badlands type of things. Well, no, these are well-established mountain ranges. The Andes and the Rockies. A system or group of parallel mountain. Okay, Cordera. Well, what is Cordera? No. It's not even a word. It's a brand of women's clothing. Dara. Huh. Did I just make up a fake word? Another word for crater. Caldera. That's what I'm thinking. Caldera. Not Cordera. Caldera. A large volcanic crater, especially one formed by a major eruption, leading to the collapse of the mountain, collapse of the mouth of the volcano. Alright, so this would only be a caldera if it used to be a volcano. But this pit in the center kind of implies this. This is the mountain that the tunnel... No, it isn't. Did I get lost? Now, this is our Saddle Valley, right? Yeah, this is our road. Okay. I was going to show you this one, too. No, that's the big one, isn't it? But the tunnel is going to come under here. Under the Saddle Valley. So this mountain, this is the huge... The huge hill. Because it's not only got this tall peak. Oh my gosh. Look at this stuff. This is a hollow mountain. I mean, this in itself would be a great place to build. Just in this... Hey, emeralds nearby? In this... Look at this. But, so... Okay, what I was talking about with mountain ownership. The idea being, this mountain is so much space that you could cut it into strips that lead from the top down to the base and have so many different properties to hand out. And then, you know, the people on this mountain could coordinate what they do in the center if they want. But anyways, the tunnel will pass underneath all of that, and maybe that's not where I was thinking. Did I lose the road? Where am I? Okay. Yeah, I'm off track, aren't I? Did I get all the way back to spawn? The numbers are saying no. I went too far west, didn't I? Nope. Okay. Here we go. Alright, there we are. Sorry about all that. I was on the wrong side of this mountain, I guess is all I could say. And I just wanted to show you that this is a huge expanse of snow, which would be miserable to cross on foot. But that's not the worst of it. The worst of it is that thing. The tunnel will go underneath all this. Yeah, the tunnel goes underneath all this nonsense to the east, and avoids all of this. But that's, yeah, that's the fun stuff. This is the wall to the kingdom, which is behind us, and we'll make a tunnel and insert catchphrase.